We're coming to you live on the eve of the Ron Johnson Bowl, the team he works for against the team he played for.
Oh yeah, it's time for Locked On Vikings After Dark, baby. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every night.
Welcome to Locked On Vikings After Dark. We are brought to you by FanDuel. Join all the action at FanDuel.com to play daily dingers and make your free pick on who's hitting a homer this MLB season. That's some of the most fun sports slang when you get to say dinger for home run. I think, Arif Hasan.
I like dinger. I like donger. That's good too.
A dong. It's just dong.
No, donger.
The occasional gopher ball.
Yeah,
Gopher ball?
La Bamba. I don't know. That feel like La Bamba feels like it's one that people use. It seems right to me. I can't confirm if that's the case.
The Twins once had the Bamba squad
Good
back in 2019. Hit a lot of home runs.
That was
Juice
fun.
baseball.
I actually watched that baseball team occasionally, which is
The baseball was
crazy
on
for me.
steroids, not the players. The baseball was
Yeah.
juicing.
Yeah,
That's
no, it was
the allegation from that year. I'm not Luke Braun. I'm Sam Ekstrom, filling in for Luke Braun this
Wait,
week
what?
on Locked On Vikings.
Huh?
After what? Huh? I'm not. No, not in California. No,
That's
we're here in
crazy.
Minnesota. We're miles away from TCO Performance Center, where the Vikings and Ravens will have joint practices the next 2 days. Who is going to sack the quarterback this season? Because all of the veterans are getting scooped up, and we're going to predict wide receivers 1 through 5, their stats this year. We start with joint practices, though. Arif, we've seen a lot of these over the years, and I think they're probably the best 2 practices of the entire training camp. And I've been pounding the table that fans don't get great return on their dollar anymore for training camp. I think it's probably a little better for the family, and I'm sympathetic to that because I've got 2 kids. And if I was going out to training camp, we would spend 0 minutes on the middle bleachers and probably all of our time, doing the kids' activities. So I get that. That's great. If you want the football, these are the 2 that I would invest in, because you are going to see a significant amount of 11-on-11s in a competitive environment with some fresh blood and different coaches, different calls, different personnel. It's kind of awesome because anywhere you look, there's a competitive drill happening. There's like 4 fields worth, and it's fun to cover. It's hard to cover. But with Derrick Henry, coming in with the Ravens, I remember the Titans joints a few years ago. And this is when I got introduced to Ivan Pace, because Ivan Pace, in all of his rookie enthusiasm, planted Derrick Henry on the ground as a rookie. And the Titans did not like that. Derrick Henry did not like that. But I love the joint practices. I love the intensity. And Baltimore, new coach, I'm sure they're going to bring it. So I think if I would make the sell, go out and check out joint practices one of the next 2 days. Probably the best practice environment you'll see.
Yeah, it gets really chippy. You end up seeing a couple of fights emerge a lot of the times. I think that happened in both the Patriots and the 49ers ones, if I recall correctly, the past couple of years. And it's an interesting trend across the NFL that joint practices has become kind of like an institution, like a thing that people are doing a lot more often. Now, for the past couple of years, the Vikings have been using it to essentially replace the preseason, which is why we got some pretty limited reps in the preseason for JJ McCarthy. It turned out not to be the most ideal scenario, but we got some great practices out of it. And I'd say like the 2 joint practices, obviously also the night practice, those are the 3 that I'd probably book if I wanted to watch actual football. But the value of the joint practices is that there are twice as many players on the field. There's 180, right? And so you've got twice as many drills going on. You can put 1s on 1s, you can put 2s on 2s, and really get a bunch of reps in a way that you wouldn't really otherwise. And so anywhere you look, like you said, you'll see something, and they tend to be more competitive than even like the full speed, full pad practices for like the same team practices, right? And I think the fact that you don't see the same guys in team meetings or in the lunchroom, right? I think like adds to it. Like that animosity adds a lot of juice. I think we learn a little bit more than we otherwise would have, because we're always like asking this question, like, "Oh my God, the offensive line is losing to the defensive line. Is that good? Are we happy that the defensive line is winning? Are we sad the offensive line?" And now you have an unmitigated emotional like investment in whatever. If the offensive line is winning, great. I don't have to worry about the Ravens defensive line. I don't care about them. They could suck for all I care. The better they are, the better it is for the offensive line. But for the most part, these signs are good, right? So you get like an unmitigated emotional response from whatever happens. So that tells us a lot. And then also it'll be kind of cool to see, a lot of these players that have built up a lot of hype, doing it against the Vikings. Maybe familiarity is playing a role. Like maybe Chuck Demings, as much as he seems to not care about who he's going up against, maybe has gotten used to going up against Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson, which great set of receivers to get used to, but like maybe some tendencies he's taking advantage of without knowing it. So now you go up against kind of the most recently highly paid receiver, Zay Flowers, and we get to see how he does there. We get to see how he does against like a confirmed good quarterback, right? Like stuff like that. So I'm pretty excited about the way the joint practices might reveal information, and then also I'm just kind of excited about like the general competition level.
I was on the football party and the squad with you for numerous years, and in our wagering contests, you always bet Baltimore. Like Baltimore was kind of that was your Luke Inman Jaguars.
Those my Jaguars, yeah.
do you, even off the 8-9 season, do you still love the Ravens?
Yeah, I think they tend to be pretty good, like against the spread, first of all. But like second, I don't know. Like there's something about the Ravens that like I think when they mess up for me, it's always in a way where I can write it off, and maybe that's bad gambling practice, but it just feels like the ways that they don't pay me back are not sustainable, and the ways that they do are sustainable. I'm always a big fan of Lamar Jackson, and that helps. And I think, we'll see kind of the way the new defensive system is set up under Minter, what that's going to look like. But the Ravens defense has always been one they're always kind of intrigued at what they're doing, even in the years where they haven't been as good as their reputation suggests. They're always doing something interesting. So I do like the Ravens a lot. I do like watching them. I kind of wish that the Vikings were the only purple team in the NFL. That's like a really cool thing to uniquely have as your color. But barring that, at least like the Ravens are an enjoyable team to kind of also share that color palette with.
Yeah, they're not a dumb purple team. You like James Madison as well.
Yeah.
Another purple team.
Yeah, surprisingly not as big into LSU or the Lakers. So it's not like a pure purple allegiance here, but it happens to fall the right way sometimes. Yeah.
One more joint practice question for you. You've long told me that the most informative drill for a player's success or a player's chances of making the roster are O-line, D-line one-on-ones.
Yeah,
do you
absolutely.
Still believe that to be the case?
Yeah, I still do. In fairness, I haven't been to a ton of practices over the past couple of years. So I haven't had a lot of like information.
Slacker.
I know,
Slacker.
Right? I haven't had a lot of data to tell me that the previous data was wrong. And so until I get that information, I'm going to stick with that. But I think it makes a lot of sense, right? Because the wide receiver DB one-on-ones occurred in an environment where you're not really going to see that play out on the field, right? Like the cornerbacks are always in man coverage, and the predominant coverage in the NFL is zone of some sort. The cornerbacks usually have safety or inside help. You can rely on that linebacker in their zone. You can rely on the safety up top, and you've got the benefit of a pass rush, right? Like all of that changes the nature of the wide receiver DB one-on-one. So it's very useful practice. In terms of evaluation, I'm not so sure. And, the same is kind of true in some like the running back linebacker one-on-one, like all of that. It's really difficult to get a lot of information because that requires kind of the concert of the entire defense kind of working together. And that's a big part of the skill set. Now, on the defensive and offensive line, you run defensive line games, there's stunts, there's twists and stuff like that. But the fundamental thing that matters is your skill at getting past the offensive lineman or preventing a guy from getting past you as an offensive lineman. And you have to get good at identifying blitzes. You have to get good at passing off and stuff like that. And that doesn't get tested one-on-ones. But it's significantly less demarcated from what you're going to do. So I think the data tells us it's important, but I think also just like logically, it reasons out to be something that would make sense as something that matters. Like, yeah, center is usually going to have help in pass protection, but the better your center is at pass protection, the better that your nose tackle is at rushing the passer, the better it is just kind of in general. So, yeah, I think theoretically it should be the most useful. And then the data tells us that it has historically been the most useful. So whoever's winning in one-on-ones, you could be reasonably confident after you kind of adjust like, oh, he's up against a 13 tackle or something like that. You can be reasonably confident that they're showcasing some genuine skill that you can kind of hang your hat on when it comes time to figure out who's going to make the roster, who's not going to make the roster.
Yeah, speaking of OL, Vikings get a look at that rookie first-round pick guard the Ravens have from Penn State, Vega Ioane. I couldn't find a single former Viking on their 90-man, not even like a camp body.
Oh, wow.
And I'm usually pretty good at spotting them. While we take a break, why don't you take a look through that? We also got a question. Is Kyler Murray a better passer than Lamar Jackson? Let's indulge that when we return on Locked On Vikings After Dark.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Ross Jackson, host of the Locked On at Saints podcast, and today's Locked On episode is brought to you by our friends at Baskin Lather. I've been using Baskin Lather's all-natural, 100% organic hair care products for my beard for a couple of years now, and it's been a lifesaver because I used to have some bad beard care habits. I'm talking over-the-counter shampoo and the beard type stuff that created this brittle, scratchy, and uncomfortable beard that I just had to wear around all the time. But now the game done changed. Thanks to Baskin Lather, I got their beard care starter kit, which gave me shampoo, conditioner, oil balm, and their hair growth stimulator formula as well. And now my beard is full. It's soft but strong, and the confidence is on 10, and it's all thanks to Baskin Lather. Explore viral bestsellers and products of healthier hair of all types from Baskin Lather. Go to baskinlatherco.com and use the promo code LOCKEDON for 20% off. That's 20% off at baskinlatherco.com, code LOCKEDON.
You can subscribe to Locked On Vikings and get all sorts of content like this show, Locked On Vikings After Dark, Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays. Get Locked On Vikings with Luke Braun 5 days a week and get the Vikings Squad Show. I host. Luke Inman's with us. Tyler Forness is with us. Reggie Wilson is with us. Get that this coming Thursday and then after every game. Arif, did you do the thing? Did you look at the roster? Did you find any former...
Yeah. I looked at the roster. All I got for you is Rashad Bateman, who's obviously not a Viking, it's a former Gopher. But that's like the best we got, right? There's not much I don't recognize any of these guys as being former Vikings, and I'm usually pretty decent at figuring out if a guy had a cup of coffee or something like that. So yeah, I'm not seeing anything like that.
It's the Rashad Bateman homecoming, and it's the Ron Johnson game, the nostalgia game. Ron Johnson, our good friend, longtime contributor to the Vikings Squad Show, gets to go out and watch his former team as he covers them for the Minnesota Vikings. We got a question. Kyler Murray, better passer, and I assume just pure passer, than Lamar Jackson. You could make a statistical case. 67% career passer for Kyler, 64.8 for Lamar Jackson. Lamar's thrown about 3-to-1 interception to touchdown or touchdown interception ratio. Kyler's about 2-to-1. That would be a check in the Lamar box. I don't know if I can buy that one. I feel like Lamar still has enough equity as he's an MVP, and he threw 36 touchdowns in a season, 41 touchdowns in a season. I feel like we've still got to give him some flowers, some Zay flowers.
Yeah, you got to give him some Zay flowers. Yeah, I would say that Lamar is a better pure passer. It is kind of difficult, right? Because Lamar faces substantially more predictable defenses than Kyler does, and certainly the two of them face more predictable defenses than most of the rest of the NFL does. It's kind of like, if you ever see that John Boyce video where he doesn't let Barry Bonds swing, and we got to see how many. It's kind of like that. Like it's really difficult because obviously if pitchers could throw to Barry Bonds knowing he can't swing, they would not intentionally walk him, right? But like, it's the threat of the home run, it's the threat of the Barry Bonds home run that changes the nature of like whether or not you want to intentionally walk this guy. In the same way, you can't separate what Lamar sees on the field defensively from what Lamar can do as a runner. And that changes the passing geometry. That changes what the defense is willing to do. And is that a skill? I would say yes. But if you were in a situation where it's like, hey, actually, both of these quarterbacks are not allowed to get out of the pocket and the defense knows that, I still think Lamar would be a better, like, pure pocket passer without the ability to threaten a run, because I think that he is, I wouldn't say more accurate, but I think in terms of these deep downfield 15 plus, 20 plus yard throws, he's going to get you more yards. He's going to be more accurate in those deeper throws. And I think he's going to figure out where he needs to throw a little bit faster than Kyler is. And so I would say that as a pure passer, he is better, but I do think it is a more complicated question than just taking a look at some of these numbers and figuring out, like, is his completion rate higher? Is his yards per attempt higher? How many touchdowns does he have? Not a lot of that is going to be one-to-one because of the nature of how defenses have to account for Lamar. But even once you do that, I would argue that Lamar just is better at, like, reading a field, getting the ball out to the right place at the right time, that kind of stuff.
Lamar Jackson, tough quarterback to sack, especially at joint practices when you're not allowed to sack him. But who is going to sack the quarterback for the Vikings this year? That's the segue. I want your take on how the Vikings have kind of left this gaping void at edge rusher, much like the Timberwolves have left a gaping void at power forward, and it's like a pretty gigantic spot, and everyone's kind of shrugging their shoulders. Yeah, we're good. And in the Vikings case, you've got two starters. You've got Van Ginkel, you've got Turner, and very little true edge rushing behind that. I have no doubt that Brian Flores will scheme. He will get creative. Eric Wilson will do things. Jamal Adams probably would have done things. Jake Golday might do things. Like, he's going to find ways to get nickel pressure, inside linebacker pressure, Blake Cashman pressure. But just from like an edge 3 standpoint, Arif, because someone's got to spell Dallas Turner. Someone's got to spell Andrew Van Ginkel once in a while. Where is that going to come from? Because you've got like 600 snaps from last year to replace with Jonathan Greenard that you have not replaced at all meaningfully.
Yeah, no, it's a really difficult question, I think, for the Vikings to answer. I mean, first of all, they're not going to, I think, replace Jonathan Greenard. I think the number of pressures, or the pressure rate that the Vikings will be able to generate from the front four is going to decrease. Now, does that mean the number of pressures will decrease? Not necessarily. They might ramp up the way that they blitz. They might, like you said, put Jake Golday out there as a third linebacker who's going to rush the passer. Obviously, Jamal Adams was going to be part of that solution. We might see Ivan Pace in a sub package or two, because he's still a very talented pass rusher, right? It's just all this other linebacker stuff is not as valuable. We're going to see like James Pierre screaming off the edge, that kind of stuff, right? So we're probably going to see more blitzes to account for the fact that the front four doesn't seem to be doing as much, or the front five, or however you want to call it. But that comes with a cost, right? You can have one fewer defender in coverage. It's not as unique or intriguing or surprising anymore when the Vikings run zone coverage with like 5 coverage defenders back there, like it was in 2023. So you're going to have a cost, and, you wouldn't have to do that in a world where you could trust both of your edge rushers to consistently generate pressure when you're in these sub packages, when you have to put the third edge rusher on the field. And we still don't know if Dallas Turner is going to live up to kind of the momentum he's built this offseason, about the way people have talked about him, the way that he's looked. He obviously had a really good moment in the preseason. We don't know if that's going to bear out in the way that we want it to either. And so I don't think we're going to get as much, front 5, front 4 pressure. That said, I do want to highlight, hey, Jalen Redmond's going to play a lot more than he did last year. He's a very gifted pass rusher, so we might see more there. Caleb Banks obviously had a very poor preseason. We talked about that. But partway through the year, maybe he continues to develop. Maybe he gets more used to playing football. It's been a while since he played, meaningfully good football. maybe he'll, show up as a pass rusher as well. So there are opportunities there for you to do some one-to-one-ish kind of replacements in terms of pressure. But I think a lot of it's going to be schematic. And I think that's going to come with some costs.
Can you power rank for me Bo Richter, Tyler Batty, and Chaz Chambliss? Because it's possible two of them make the team, and I don't know what I think of any of them.
As pass rushers, right? So I think Chaz Chambliss is going to make the team as a special teamer. But as pass rushers, I'd go Bo Richter first. And I think the numbers in the film kind of suggest I should go with Chaz Chambliss, but I think I'm going to lean on college production a little bit here and go with Tyler Batty, number 2. And I'm just fully willing to be kind of wrong on that one. And I'll put Chaz Chambliss 3. It's really difficult for me to trust him, even though he's had some better moments than I expected over these past 2 preseasons and stuff like that. So I will go in the list. I think that was the order you gave me too. I think it's Richter, Batty, and then Chambliss.
Let's see. Richter only played 10 snaps in the Giants game. Maybe that's indicative that they don't need to see a lot from him.
I think you're right. I think that's a good instinct. Yeah.
He's made the team 2 consecutive years, right? This is already Richter's 3rd year. Am I correct on that? I believe
that's actually a good question. I don't know if he was okay.
It
cool.
is.
Wow.
This is his 3rd Viking season. So he might be ready to graduate. And he played snaps both years, 86 snaps, actually, each of the last 2 years. Chambliss played 19, and Batty played 17 with 1 pressure. When we return, I'm going to give you the 5 wide receivers, including Ty Felton and Miles Price, and we are going to predict their stats in our final segment on Locked On Vikings After Dark. We are presented by FanDuel. Baseball fans, if you think you know who's hitting a homer today, FanDuel is giving you a free chance to call your shot with daily dingers, not dongers, like Arif Hasan says. It's easy to play. Just make your free pick for who you think will hit a home run in their game. If you're right, you'll receive a profit boost to use in your next bet for a chance at extra winnings. Best of all, you can make a free pick every day throughout the MLB season. Daily Dingers is another fun way to stay engaged with every day's games, whether you're following your favorite team or keeping an eye on matchups across the league. Every game has someone capable of going deep. Now you get the chance to make your prediction before first pitch. Josh Bell for the Twins tonight. 2-run bomb, first inning. Twins have been red hot in first innings. Might want to look at the top of that lineup in future games. They've beaten the Braves 2 in a row. Check it out tomorrow. Maybe a Byron Buxton first inning home run. See what the odds are on that. So if you're ready to play, check out FanDuel.com. FanDuel.com, daily dingers. Make your free pick on who's hitting a homer. Play ball and swing for the fences on FanDuel, an official partner of the MLB.
Justice for dongers.
It's dong. It's dong.
Maybe in your culture, Sam. Maybe that's what you got going on over there. But here, in this household...
it's the dialect. It's the dialect in this part of the city. The Vikings have 5 wide receivers that I'm projecting to make the team: Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, Juwan Jennings, Ty Felton, and Miles Price. I want us to predict their stats. Now, here's the catch.
The catch,
and it's going to require math. I'm giving you 3,000 yards to divvy up.
That's it?
3,000 wide receiver yards.
Yeah, because obviously some are going to running back,
tight end yards. There's running back. Yeah, you get 3,000 wide receiver yards. I'll do the math for you, but I need you to distribute Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, Juwan Jennings, Ty Felton, Miles Price.
Yeah, I was going to go 1,500 for Jefferson, but I think with this restriction, I'm gonna steal 100 away from that, so I can distribute it around because I've got a plan for Jordan Addison. So 1,400 for Justin Jefferson, and then Jordan Addison's going to get his first 1,000 yard season. So that's the idea there. That's 2,400. I only got 600 around to play with. So Juwan Jennings, I mean, he feels like a 500-yard receiver, but then I'm already 100 over, and I got 2 other receivers to distribute things to. So this is tough. I'm going to go 350 for Juwan Jennings. What does that give me? 150 left?
No. So if you give Jennings 500,
that's
you've got 100
right?
left.
Oh, I've got 100 left.
Because you did 1,400 and 1,000, right?
Okay, yeah. You're right. Let's do 420 for Juwan Jennings.
Okay. You got 180 left.
Yeah, we'll give 120 of that to Miles Price and 60 to Ty Felton.
Miles Price, you say, getting the 4th most yards.
Yeah.
I dig that. I went a little more precisely 1425 for Jefferson. I also think Jordan Addison is sitting on a 1,000-yard season. Addison's only had a quarterback play the whole year for one of his 3 seasons. And he had his most efficient season, most yards per game. He missed time early in that year. Otherwise, he would have had 1,000. But I've got him at 1,053. I've got Jennings at 402. And I think Jennings feels like a 500-yard receiver also. But there's a lot of mouths to feed. And they're going to use their tight ends. They're going to go heavy sometimes. And he's part of that. He certainly is part of that. I just don't know how he gets the snap share required to have a big wide receiver 3 season, barring injury. I left very little on the bone for Felton and Price. And I may come to regret this. I've got 97 yards for Ty Felton. I've got 23 yards for Miles Price. One huge catch.
Right.
One very important catch. But let's look at past year's output. So 2024.
Yeah, it would have helped me to look at how this all played out in other seasons, huh?
Okay, so thriving offense, good quarterback, 2024.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, hold on. This is pre. I'm looking at Deshaun Jones,
automatically
Tristan Jackson. It defaulted to preseason.
That's great.
Oh my gosh! Come on now. Justin Jefferson. So they only had 5 receivers that had yards. Justin Jefferson, 1533. Jordan Addison, 875. Jalen Naylor, 414. So right there, you're at 23, 27, almost just over 28. So yeah, I mean, it's very similar to what our calculations were. Then Trent Sherfield, 83. Brandon Powell, 71. That's it.
I think we did a pretty good job estimating that. It's like we've been doing this for a couple of years, huh?
Let's look at 2022. That was another good offensive season. Deep wide receiver room. Same thing. You had 3 kind of top receivers, and then you had 2 that kind of, and it looks like this year they had a little more. They had closer to 3,500.
Mm-hmm.
Justin Jefferson, 1,809. Adam Thielen, 716. KJ Osborne, 650. Jalen Naylor, 179. Jalen Reagor,
oh
104.
Wow, yeah.
Jalen Reagor.
I mean, the 1,800 yards is a kind of a difficult thing to predict and work around. But I think the kind of the drop off of the curve is pretty similar to what we did. So, but wow, oh my God, that was what a crazy year.
All of that was in the 4th quarter, by the way. All of those yards,
every single one, yeah, that
were 4th quarter yards. Let's do one more season. 2019 playoff team, Kirk Cousins' lone playoff win. They had 6 wide receivers that had yards. Stephon Diggs, 1132. Adam Thielen, 418 was the number 2 receiver. Olabisi Johnson, 294. Laquan Treadwell, 184. Can you guess 5 and 6?
Not Dylan Mitchell, I can tell you that.
Nope.
Oh man.
Nope.
So we got BC, we got Diggs, we got Thielen. Who's the other one you named?
Tread. Treadwell.
Of course. So Patterson's already gone. I associate Treadwell with Patterson, of course. Charlie Johnson's long gone, right? Man, this one's tough. Yeah, I give up.
I'll give you a clue that applies to both of them. In a word, diminutive.
Bones? Do we got Bones Hollins in here?
Yeah.
Yo,
we do.
Let's go.
46 yards, 2 catches.
All in week 17.
Yeah, I think you're right. And one more.
Okay.
Same descriptor.
Small receiver. BB? We got Chad in there?
BB and BC.
Yeah, that's all I needed. I just needed you to tell me they were tiny guys.
The BB and BC era. Good times.
Yeah, that's crazy. I still think BC was a really outstanding outcome for the Vikings. I know that he wasn't, the most like outstanding, remarkable starting receiver, but that is just such a great outcome for a 6th, 7th round pick.
6th, 7th round pick. He can take to his grave that
he started over Justin Jefferson.
Hey, grandchildren, let me tell you, you'll never believe me. See that guy in that gold jacket there? I beat him in a training camp competition.
This is a starter for 2 years. Or 2 games.
2 games.
2 games.
Didn't go well. 2 games didn't go well.
I was setting him up. You set him up, knock him down. I was setting him up. I taught him everything he knows.
We were sandbagging him. The Titans never knew what hit him when he finally started. Locked On Vikings After Dark returns on Thursday. And maybe the Fire will make an appearance. We had the Fire requested last night.
That's right, yeah.
He's Arif Hasan, wide left. I'm Sam Ekstrom, Vikings Squad Show, filling in for Luke Braun right here on Locked On Vikings After Dark. Appreciate you watching. Appreciate you listening. And all the comments and all the subscribers, too. Thank you. We'll talk to you in a couple days.